guys, Ashley here. I hope you are having an awesome day. Welcome to another speed build. In today's video, I decided to create an apartment, and the theme for this apartment was a flea market apartment or like a thrifted apartment. So what I had in mind was that this apartment was completely furnished with flea market or secondhand or thrifted items. I really love thrifting myself, so I really wanted to create an apartment that was completely thrifted, and I thought it was just a really cool idea. And since in The Sims there is the flea market that you can get items from, I thought that that was just kind of perfect to tie into San Mychuno, because I just thought that that would be kind of perfect. And the person who lives in this apartment visits the flea market quite often and picks up a lot of secondhand items. So yeah, that's kind of the idea for this apartment. And I also wanted to do it or create it with a very colorful palette. So you will see throughout this speed build that I pick every single color, and I love the way that this apartment turned out. It is absolutely just so fun. Like, so many bright colors and a lot of like fun clutter. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy this speed build. And I do want to say, I want to apologize for not uploading for like a week. My whole family has been so sick, probably since like even before Christmas. We all like got bronchitis. It started off as like a cold and it just never got better. And we had this awful, awful cold and cough, and I couldn't do voiceovers. Like, I was coughing every 2 seconds, and you might even kind of notice that my voice sounds a little bit funny still because I'm still sick. It's getting to the point now where I feel like I need to go back to the doctor and say, listen, like, I'm not getting any better. Is there anything that you can give me? Normally, I don't like to take anything for like when I have like colds or flus, because I do know that the body has a way of like making itself feel better and like recovering over time. But when you're going on 3-4 weeks of like being sick, it can get very exhausting and like very draining and almost depressing, to be honest. So like I said, I do probably sound like a little bit raspy, and I find I run out of breath like really easily. So I do apologize in advance if you guys are picking up on those sounds in this speed build. So here is the entryway, and you can see here, like, I did go in with a lot of bright colors. I tend to stick to neutral palettes, which you guys know that I love, but I had so much fun decorating this apartment. I just picked the most colorful colors like orange and green and yellows and purples and pinks. I'm pretty sure I used every single color in this apartment. And I think it just plays into like kind of that flea market mismatched, like thrifted items. Like, I think it just feels like very like fun, because like obviously when you go like to a flea market or a secondhand store or like a thrifted store, you're not always going to find things that like would match, right? It's not like you're just going to IKEA and buying a whole bunch of IKEA items that like are very matchy. Like, you kind of just pick up things like here and there throughout the days and the weeks and the years, and then you kind of just like make it into your own, right? So with this apartment, originally I wasn't even sure like if it was going to be like a thrifted item apartment. I kind of wanted to make like a boho apartment, like a very like what's that word, like eccentric, or what is it, eccentric. Oh my god, I can't even think of the word right now. But just like kind of a little bit like the person in this apartment is like a lot of fun. Like, they love color, they love patterns. They might not be the most neutral loving person. Like, they have like so much fun, and they just have this like amazing personality where they're just very bubbly and and very outgoing, and that's kind of like the thought process I had when I was making this apartment. But yeah, like I just had so much fun. Like I don't normally do apartments this colorful unless I'm doing like children's bedrooms. Then I tend to make those like a lot more colorful, like pinks and blues and greens and yellows. But I've never made like a house or an apartment with all these colors. And like I said, I was originally going to go in with like a boho, and you can kind of see some of those vibes, but like a colorful boho. Yeah, so when you look at boho, I always find that like it's a lot of like creams and whites and macrame and woven textures, and then a whole bunch of plants. So I personally think boho has changed over the years. I don't think it is what it used to be, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm just rambling now, but let me know what you guys think. Like let me know what your idea of boho is, because I just think it is so different than it was like back in the day. I'm making it sound like I'm like super old, but just growing up with what boho is now is just totally different, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I mean, that's what I think. But yeah, I know I kind of like talked over like the kitchen and living room, but we are on to the bedroom. I do kind of bounce around in this speed build a little bit. So I started with the kitchen. I do go back to the kitchen. I started with the living room, and then I go back to the living room, and now I'm on to the bedroom. And I wasn't really sure what I was doing with this bedroom. It ended up kind of just like being like an afterthought. Like I really put a lot of focus into the kitchen and the living room area. But when it came to the bedroom, I kind of just threw a whole bunch of colors in, and I added some like cameras and the like, I guess the camera items that like that wall mounted like shelf for like the camera items, because I assumed like this sim also loved taking like photos. Like they're very artsy. That's why a lot of their like items in their house like kind of speak to that personality as well. But you can see here I added a lot more clutter to the kitchen. It was looking pretty plain before. And like I said, I wanted it to feel like very like different than my normal builds with the coziness and the consistency. I wanted it to feel like the sim has collected items over time. So everything's like very mixed and matched, and none of it really is like consistent, if that makes sense. And then I wanted to add a lot of plants. I probably could have gone a little crazier with adding plants, but I also didn't want the apartment to feel overwhelming because it was already a pretty like crazy color palette. And that's why I did end up going with like the brown colored walls, because originally I was going to go with something a little bit more bright, like purple or blue or green, and it was just too much. So I ended up changing that to like the brown, and I think that just worked out absolutely perfect, and it matches the pillars and the floor really well. And then you can see here, I just went in and added a lot more clutter to the living room, some candles and plants. And then I originally was going to do like a little bit like an art studio area. Like I was going to add like an easel and stuff. And I ended up changing my mind and actually adding a dining table and a dining room space. I just really liked adding those really fun colored chairs. Originally I was going to do like 4 different chairs, and I ended up changing my mind and just doing the same chair but in like 4 different colors, which I thought was just really cool. But yeah, the bedroom, you can see here, I just went back in and I added like some more art for the walls in the bedroom, and you didn't see me changing it, but I did change the bedspread and the blind colors. Again, not going with anything that was super matchy-matchy. Wanted it just to be fun and colorful. But that is really about it for this build. The last room I do is obviously the bathroom, and it's a pretty small bathroom, so nothing too exciting there. But if you guys do like this apartment, let me know. I will upload it to the gallery. I think it ends up being uploaded as a room, not a house, because if you take a wall out, you can upload it as a whole room. But yeah, if you guys like this video, if you could give it a like and a thumbs up, and if you can turn on that notification bell, it lets you know when I have uploaded a new video. And I really hope you guys liked this. Let me know what your thoughts on boho are. But until next time, I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!